He bets 14,000. He's not shy about putting chips in the pot. I'll tell you that much. Almost a pot-sized bet.
That almost forces Tom Dwan to raise here, because Tom Dwan can't take a chance on letting a ace of hearts or a king of hearts, or pardon me, queen of hearts, have a free draw at this. I think we'll see a re-raise from Tom Dwan here. I don't think he's thinking about folding, that's for sure.
Exactly my thoughts.
Yeah, he's really going to choke on this hand if he gets raised, that's for sure. It's not just going to be a cough.
Well, the one thing about Mooley's hand, I mean, he can put chips out there because if he does get raised, it's an easy muck, obviously. He's got absolutely nothing.
That's true. I prefer like a $10,000 bet versus 15.
36,200.
I mean, I've seen
14.
some players with the ace-9, let's say he has the ace of hearts. If he were to bet in that spot, it's actually a really dangerous spot because then you can actually get raised off of a big draw, which can be, catastrophic. In this case, though, he's getting raised off of nothing. Tom Dwan does raise. He takes your advice. He's raised it up to 36,200. And Mooley...
Clearly taking his time to stop him from betting at him next time. Obviously, he's not going to do anything this time.
Well, you wouldn't think so, but you never know. I mean... We've seen stranger things. Action is on Cyril Mooley. It's 22,200 to call. Pretty sure he's not going to smooth call.
No.
You imagine a raise or a fold here, but we'll see what happens.
Yeah, I would say we'll see one or the other.
Pot is 65,500. Cyril Mooley.
60.
I think he's asking for a count.
74 behind the bet.
Yeah, he is asking for a count. And maybe he's trying to figure out if Dwan is actually pot committed.
Well, he might be considering over the top here. Wow, with nothing but air.
Well, he's going to fold.
Pass.
Patrick Antonius right now at $666,000 in front of him. He's up $266,000.
Pass.
But that's Alan Cunningham's hand. 8-6 of hearts. He's going to play it.
I think he's reinvigorated with these two small pots he won.
Cool.
Well, Antonius is going to call with the Queen-9.
Pass.
I don't mind that in position against, once again, a fairly tight player in Alan Cunningham, who's starting to loosen up a little.
Well, Cyril Mooley going to call as well, and we're just going to see this flop three ways. Hearts for Cunningham, hearts for Cyril Mooley.
Two jack ace.
And not a surprise that no hearts come out.
Actually,
And-
kind of a
Check.
blank flop.
Yeah, nobody has anything.
Usually,
Patrick Antonius still at the best of it with Queen High. Checks around. Here's the turn. Five of diamonds.
usually the first aggressor in pots like this is the one who
Check.
takes the pot down. They check to
Check.
Patrick Antonius again. Wow, I can't believe he checked there.
6.
I would have been inclined to bet on the turn if it checks all the way around to me in the black.
Alan Cunningham gets lucky on the river. Catches the 6.
I
We'll
think
see how
he's
this one plays out.
considering a value bet, but it'd be an awful thin one. What could he get called by?
Oh, that's what I was going to ask you. If he bets the 6, can he get... I mean, I guess he can get called by a 5 or a deuce.
Yeah, pretty thin, pretty thin. But actually, the action on Cyril Mooley first.
Yeah, Cyril Mooley here. Maybe looks to steal the pot. Now, this is interesting because it might actually get through,
9.
and he bets 9,000.
into a $6,900 pot.
Pass.
And
Wow.
Alan Cunningham forced to fold, but one of the reasons Cunningham forced to fold is Patrick is still yet to act behind. Now, this is interesting. I think Patrick puts Mooley on nothing. But can you call with just Queen High, or is he forced to actually raise? Very interesting spot.
Yeah, I'd be surprised if we see just a flat call. It's got to be a raise or a fold here. I don't think he can flat call. If he does, wow, what a great call.
I mean, the way Mooley has played this, it smells like a bluff. It looks like a bluff. We can see it's a bluff, but I think Patrick Antonius knows it's a bluff.
Well,
Just
it's
a matter
either-
of, does he
it's e-
call or does he raise?
It's either an error, just a flat bluff, or he could have hit a pair on the river here. Or maybe value betting a jack that he flopped to begin with.
Cool.
Wow.
And Antonius makes the call. He makes the call with Queen High. Unbelievable.
That's a great call by Patrick Antonius.
You know, I got to tell you, we've been doing this series for 4 years. This is the 4th season of the $1 Million Cash Game, and never before have I seen somebody make a call with Queen High and it be good. Unbelievable.
Sometimes the lady does the trick. Before. I was trapping all the way.
Patrick Antonius, a little bit of humor there.
I'm Patrick Antonius, one of the biggest cash game players in the world. there are a lot of players that they have problems in other fields, selecting good games and money management problems. It takes a lot of conditioning. You have to be mentally in good shape, because just the one kind of tired moment can cost you so much money. So you have to always be fresh when you play, because there's really not room for any mistakes. Like it's not really how great you play some sessions, it's if you have bad sessions. So always give your A game, you'll be fine.
Let's take a look at a leaderboard here. Patrick Antonius, after that unbelievable call with just queen high, is now up $280,000. Let's take a look at the other spectrum. Tom Dwan down $264,000. Cyril Mooley, by the way, the new player at the table, down a cool $28,300.
Got a fast start, but has slowed down since that point. Kind of bluffed off his money a few times here.
Well, maybe setting him up for a bigger play. By the way, though, Mooley only has $71,700. He only bought in for $100,000, so we'll have to see how this one works out.
2-2. Pass.
Well, there's a raise from Tom Dwan. He's got ace-5 of spades.
Pass.
Let's play deuces wild. So why is it illegal to...
Patrick Antonius made a tightish fold.
They said the graphics can't.
Well, Feldman's going to call this on the button with deuces. That's going to bring Mooley in.
Yeah.
And that's probably going to bring in Cunningham as well.
Not even deuces wild. First of all, why do they need to...
So many times that first caller causes the avalanche, what we call in poker.
Well, and if you're Andrew Feldman, you got to like that, because you want more players in there when you have deuces. If you hit your set, you're getting better odds.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, here's the flop.
3-5.
8-5-3.
And a flush draw for Cyril Mooley.
It's a flush draw for Cyril Mooley. The best hand right now is Tom Dwan with a pair of fives.
Let's play deuces equals aces. Deuces wild. Aces.
A lot of dead hearts out there. Cunningham with the ace of hearts. Feldman with the deuce of hearts. Pot is $9,400.
13.
And it's another big over bet here by Cyril Mooley.
Wow.
9 out of 10 hands, I get double deuces.
$13,000 into a $9,000 pot.
And actually, even though Tom Dwan currently has the best hand, Mooley with 2 overcards and a flush draw would normally, if there wasn't so many hearts dead, would be a favorite here.
Pass.
And he still is, even with the dead hearts.
Yeah, you saw the percentages there. Tom Dwan, 45% chance to win this pot. Mooley with 55%. We're going to see a turn.
Queen.
It's the queen, and that's exactly why. You pointed it out. Not only could Mooley catch a heart, but he catch a queen or a 9.
Well, Mooley could play this really tricky right now and check this now that he hit his hand.
Well, the interesting thing is, if he continues to bet big, the only thing I was going to say, does Dwan continue to think maybe this guy's on hearts?
Yeah, I think if he bets too big, he's going to lose Tom Dwan. Tom Dwan's got second to the bottom pair. I mean, that's third pair to this board.
29.
29,000.
Wow.
Well, he bets another big pot.
How much more do you have, Cyril?
He asks how much you have left. And by the way, Tom Dwan is in terrible shape. He needs an ace or a 5. And by the way, the ace cannot be the ace of hearts.
That's what I was fixing to add.
Yeah.
No. Tom Dwan has got the money in good several times and hasn't gotten lucky. Now, if he gets his money in, it wouldn't be in a very good spot.
You have a black chip?
No, I didn't have black chips. You want I count how much I have?
No. 40 is close enough.
And Dwan getting a countdown here. I mean, this is intense. 29,000 from Mooley. Mooley is pot committed, by the way. He only started this pot with 71,000. It's just a question, does Dwan want to put them all in? And Dwan's all in.
All right, I call.
Mooley calls.
I have a 5.
And Dwan needs a 5 or an ace that's not a heart. He is in terrible shape. This pot is enormous. To the river. It's a 6 of diamonds. It's a blank. And Tom Dwan loses a $150,000 pot. Cyril Mooley plays it hard, he plays it fast, wins himself a monster pot.
And Cyril Mooley guillotines Tom Dwan, or maybe Tom Dwan did it to himself since he's the one that put Cyril Mooley all in.
Well, I think Dwan put him on hearts. I mean, I really think he put him on a draw.
And he was correct until the turn. He did have a drawing hand, but unfortunately on the turn, he hit his queen.
I mean, I think if the heart comes, I think Tom Dwan gets away from that. It's the queen or the 9 that really killed him.
Absolutely.
50,
Wow. Tom Dwan now down $335,000.
6-4.
Well, we've got 164,000 chips there and an empty seat of Tom Dwan. Those are his chips, but he's taking a little bit of a break. He's had a rough go of it. He's now down $336,000. I think he deserves a 5-minute break.
You know, sometimes when you're losing and your mind's not quite there, that's a good time to take a break. Probably a smart move on his part.
Well, Cyril Mooley going to raise this up with the ace-10. Action on Alan Cunningham. I think I know why Alan Cunningham's mojo is lost. I think I know why he hasn't won. Have you looked at that sweater? You can't win wearing a sweater like that.
7-5 total.
I mean, whatever you call it. A jumper, a cardigan, a sweater. It's ugly no matter what you look at. Well, Alan Cunningham going to re-raise this with king 10 of clubs. Ace 10 offsuit.
Cool.
Probably not a hand you want to get involved with out of position, but that's not going to stop Cyril Mooley, huh?
Sure not. And he's actually in a very dominant position right here.
Queen 3, 8.
Oh, wow. We could see fireworks here. Top pair for Mooley and a flush draw for Cunningham with a gut shot.
Well, theoretically, we should see fireworks. I mean, Cunningham with a flush draw, a gut shot straight draw, Mooley with top pair and the ace of clubs in his hand. Mooley is a 3-2 favorite right now to win this pot if it goes to the river.
Well, I got a feeling we're fixing to find out how lucky or unlucky that sweater really is.
Well, lucky or not, it's ugly. Well, action is on Mooley. And Mooley going to call this. Now, remember, Cunningham did re-raise him pre-flop, so Mooley might slow down a little bit, and we have seen that 8 of hearts completes nothing. I wouldn't be surprised if it went check-check right now. What do you think?
Check.
You know, I wouldn't be surprised if it went check and Alan Cunningham made a big bet right here.
Check.
Wow, he takes the free card.
Well, I win that one.
Yeah, you got me on that one.
Well, how about the 8 of diamonds on the river? And if you're a Mooley, at this point, you probably put Cunningham on something like pocket jacks, pocket kings.
Maybe.
I mean, the way he played it pre-flop and then checked the turn.
Yeah, all the same, I think you got to give Alan Cunningham a chance to bluff at you, check it down, and he does.
Yep, check, exactly how it goes. And Mooley going to win this with aces up. Aces and 8s. It's a dead man's hand.
But Alan Cunningham avoided going broke right there, and a lot of players would have gone broke with Alan Cunningham's hand. A moral victory, we'll say.
Well, there's well over $1 million on the table among these 6 players, and this is how it lays out. Patrick Antonius with nearly $700,000, and he's up almost $300,000. Alan Cunningham down nearly $150,000. Tom Dwan down $336,000. Patrick Antonius has absolutely dominated this $1 million cash game. And I think the 2 players in this game that can actually keep him in check are Phil Ivey and Tom Dwan. And Phil Ivey has left the game, and Tom Dwan is having an absolutely
You could just
awful
put,
day.
like, you know, 100,000 for your king 10-7, and that's it. I mean, they can't say no to that. Gets paid once every, like, 3 hours. No, not even.
that.
Once every, like, 12 hours.
King 10-7
Cyril Mooley considering his options with the ace-8 offsuit.
Well, I think first he's just trying to figure out exactly what happened, because we've got a small blind, a big blind, and a straddle from Patrick Antonius.
Sometimes we call that the big blind.
Cool.
And I believe it's a $4,000 raise
Pass.
from Andrew Feldman and a call from Cyril Mooley. Folds around. Tom Dwan not going to play the jack-6. Patrick Antonius at 10-9.
This could price him in.
Well, he's already in there for 1,200, and there's a player in there.
Only nice thing about a hand like a 9-10 is that a flop either fits your hand or you fold. So not a bad hand to call in this spot.
Well, we'll say, well, that flop does not hit his hand. Oh, and it doesn't hit Feldman's hand either. One thing you don't want to see when you got those kings, that dreaded ace out there. Board is ace, jack, 4, a couple of spades. Mooley with top pair. He also has the ace of spades to boot.
Yeah, I'd be surprised. Look at this. Andrew Feldman realizes that most likely with 2 colors, his kings are no good. And Mooley taking the reins, taking the bull by the horn, leads at the pot.
Mooley again betting big. I mean, the pot was only 13,500. Mooley bets 14,000. Once again, over betting the pot.
Yeah, he's consistently done that tonight, over betting the pot. And when he gets paid off big.
Feldman drawing slim, though.
I think this particular instance, betting big by Mooley, may not pay off because Feldman's got a really tough call with 2 kings with an ace on the board.
Pass.
He probably could have milked him for 7, 8, 9,000, but he bet a little too much there. 14,000, and he's going to have to take down this pot.
I mean, Mooley, maybe if Mooley checks one time, gives him a free card, and then bets the turn, he gets paid off one street. But that's pretty much it.
Hi, I'm Andrew Feldman. I won the UK Open 4 in 2007 for $250,000. I realised I had what it takes to play at the top level when I started to make in a day what I was in a year at my local supermarket. When I realised that there was a huge amount of money for me to make, then I knew I had talent to progress to the very top. For me, it's all about your real analytical approach to the game and your gut instinct, and it's sort of a natural talent. You've either got it or you don't.
And this is truly a marathon of poker games, 24 hours of no-limit hold'em. And all these players, they've all played long, long sessions. It's not a foreign thing for them to play 20 hours straight, 21 hours straight.
Raised to 2,000.
Alan Cunningham with the pocket sevens.
La 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 la. La 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 la.
If you're not enjoying the poker, you can at least enjoy Mike Matisow's rendition of, what was that?
Mr. Sandman.
Thank you, there you go.
Bring me a dream. Boom, 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 boom.
Pass.
Oh, we had a raise there from Alan Cunningham, a call from Tom Dwan, and an overcall
That'll bring
from both
Cyril.
Antonius and Sarah Mooley. And you say that brings in Mooley. I don't think he needed help coming in this pot.
Absolutely not.
Ace-10 suited, he was coming in no matter what. Well, there's the flop, and there's the ace.
6, king.
This is the case of this hand here. Really nothing there for anybody except Mooley.
Well, somebody might swing at it, though. You never know.
No, I have no doubt somebody might swing at it, but at the end of the day, you know, we're looking at an ace-king-6 flop with a couple of diamonds out there. It checks around, 3 of hearts on the turn. Pot, once again, is $8,900. And you can see Mooley has a 95% chance of winning this pot. Cunningham is the only one with outs.
You know, once I decide to check that flop, I might just check again right here if I'm Mooley.
Checks in the mail, buddy. How about the bet? How about a big overbet?
18,000.
Wow, 18,000 into a $8,900 pot?
Pass.
And he takes it down.
Take another.
Blow him out of the water, Mooley.
I think Mooley loves moolah, and he's getting plenty of it.
You know, he's having a good time, I got to tell you. Tom Dwan and Mike Matisow are sitting there saying, I can't win any money in this game. I can't win any money in this game. Well, Cyril Mooley having no problems. He's up nearly $81,000.
Deal me out for a sec.
Very, very, very comical. Very comical.
Pass.
Matisow still doesn't like his cards. In Matisow's defense, I will say,
2,100.
he's in a tough spot because he's not getting the cards, but on top of that, he's got a really tough player to his left. So every time he does come in, Antonius is smooth calling him.
Yeah.
So he rarely has position. Patrick Antonius going to raise this up with 2 nines.
Pass.
Feldman out of the way. Cyril Mooley.
Yeah.
Well, the funny thing with Cyril Mooley, he's in there with these weak aces, but he keeps flopping them.
Yeah, well, I tell you what, When at first you do succeed, try again.
Well, I mean, he's way behind almost every single time, but he constantly flops the ace. Pot is $5,400. Well, he doesn't flop the ace this time.
Finally, an aceless board.
And if you're Antonius, you got to like this board. It's only one overcard to your pair.
Yeah, it looks like a pretty safe board. Just kind of surprised he checked it, though.
Well, turn gives a 7. Well, Mooley picked up some outs.
Yeah, he might actually get paid off here as well if Patrick Antonius does decide to bet. Or I guess he's going to have to call. Looks like Mooley's going to bet.
Bet 8,000.
Now, he bets 8,000. Now, this thing's the one thing that makes you a little uncomfortable. The pot was 5,400. Mooley overbets the pot. Now, if you think you're good, you're going to be calling pretty big bets. Remember, Mooley doesn't play small pots.
I like a flat call there, though.
You like me call, huh?
I like call.
I'd much prefer a flat call than a raise right there. Control the pot size a little bit.
Queen of spades on the river. Changes nothing.
It doesn't figure to help your opponent.
Now, if Mooley comes out and bets 26,000 or 35,000.
I think he already checked.
He did. Okay, I was going to say, if he bets that big, can Antonius call? We'll never find out. Antonius wins that one with a pair of 9s.
I don't think Mooley's been firing 2 bullets on a bluff too much tonight.
Well, I was losing a lot as that pot came down, and I picked up 2 jacks.
I called Phil's raise with ace 10, which was just a standard call.
And the fucking ace jack.
What a flop!
Oh, wow, this is it.
He usually stops bluffing in those kind of boards, in my opinion, if he doesn't have it. So I wanted to make a little irritation raise.
I bet he raised me, and I re-raised him.
His eyes are just lighting up here. He was going to re-raise right away.
I was pretty happy that he re-raised me on a flop, so I thought it might work.
This pot is already $107,000.
Then the turn came and I bet. He called.
I would not put him on an ace in his hand. So I was pretty much thinking if he has jacks or nothing in his hand.
10 would be a huge river. It's a queen. They're all talking at the start of this hand. Now everyone's watching. This pot is 307,000 and it could be getting bigger.
When the river card came, when it came a queen, that was a pretty safe card, I thought. I didn't think he had ace queen.
I'd be trying to think, how much can I bet here? And look at this. This is the bet. It's $225,000.
The river was a really tough decision.
This could be his one chance to get out of it.
What do you do if you're Patrick Antonius?
I knew I had won the hand, especially when he took that long to call me. So I was just hoping he called at that point.
You can just feel the tension in the room.
I call.
He says call. This is a monster, and it is the hand that Phil Ivey has been waiting for. $807,000 pot. Incredible.
It was nice to make a comeback and end up winning that day and win that big of a pot.
This is absolutely unbelievable.
The way we play poker in these stakes, like it's just the chips. It's just the amount of chips. Like you don't think that the guy bet $250,000, $250,000. It's just you just look how much there's in a pot and how much percentually he bet.
You know, it's nothing personal. Nobody takes it personal. We just, here having fun and competing against each other.
Those big hands happen sometimes, and you can't always play perfect.
Eighth jack, when there's a raise. He folds everything.
Well, Patrick Antonius holding court. Sarah Moley having a good time as well. Both players are up a lot of money. Probably the reason why they're smiling. Alan Cunningham, he's not doing quite as well. We're four-handed here. Can't play tight now, can you?
No way. Gotta play some hands four-handed.
Well, Mattisau's going to play. Cunningham raised it up with the ace-8. Mattisau calls with jack-9. Patrick Antonius with the jack-8 suited. He's going to call as well.
If Mooley calls, this could be our first family pot in a while.
I think he's thinking about re-raising.